So now I'm going to collect the rest of the firewood that I cut in March. Unfortunately, I didn't record the felling of the old spruces here because I didn't have a YouTube channel then. So you missed out on all the... I had quite a struggle with a big spruce over there. I used 4 wedges and I had the wind coming up towards me where I was going to fell it, so was quite a pain. I had to wait for the winds to let go, so the spruce went the other direction and I could hit the wedges, because if the wind pushed the spruce on the wedges, they were just hit. It was like hitting steel. It wouldn't budge, not an inch, not a millimeter. So that was quite a struggle. That would have been fun to watch, but unfortunately I didn't film that. So today I'm going to show you how I'm collecting the firewood. I cut it here on this rig that I made. Take the thickest logs, put them on here, cut them at size, roll them over, cut them off down by the trailer, and then fill up the trailer and then move it on home. I've done all of the logs behind you. You haven't seen this when we were making a bonfire here where the car is now. And this split wood over there was split in the winter when I didn't have anything else to do. All was cut. So that's dry, ready for use. So this is my father's place. The cottage is made by my great grandfather in the 1930s. He made it home at his farm and pulled it up here with the horse and sleigh and built it in the summer. So we made an addition. The black roof is the addition on this side of the chimney, and the balcony, or whatever you call it. Then we have a small creek, spring fed, so it's always kept with water down there. And this is 50 by 100 meters, I think the property is. And this is the spruce. Some of the spruce I have cut down is 215 years, and so it varies between 100 and 215 years. And they have branches going all the way down to the underbrush, and we have got a lot of problems with forest fires, so I'm a bit concerned by the old spruce. Normally I wouldn't cut them down because of the age. I like to keep them, but this is like tinder. And if this caught fire, then the cottage wouldn't last. So we've been cutting away at this there was trees all up to the house when we got a hold of this in 96. I was 16 years old when I started to cut. We cut and milled the lumber and built the addition. So the lumber is from here. And this has been cut away year by year, a little. Now I'm taking firewood from here, and just to increase the space between the forest and the cottage because of the forest fires. So I would have liked to save this, but the environment has to decide what we are going to do with this. It's a lot of spruce. And we don't have as many species here as we do at my wife's cottage. It's just a handful of birch. I have one solo, one row, and that's of any size. Then it's all just small brush. So we cut made some distance between the spruce just to get something else to come up between. We'd like to have some more leaves in between to dampen the risk of forest fire, to get some more moisture in this and not so flammable. But we'll see. We'll see. And this is my old fox trap, Värmlandsfälla. I don't use that anymore, unfortunately, but that was fun times. And this was a row when I tried to save and the snow wanted something else. It's still alive, but it's broken and cracked. So I don't know, I am hoping that it will start some new ones on the lower end there. We'll see. I don't want to cut it away. The birds want the berries of the rowan, so I would like to have more rowans here. I have some small ones here, but the moose like them too, so they've been eating away at them. As you see, those are too close to the house. We need to take them down eventually. On this road I have built from 96, there was just a small path, walking path down here. And then we started with a quad bike to bring up the lumber at first. And this was a pain. There's a lot of big rocks. The one that, the pile of woods over there came out. So I had to take it out by hand because I got stuck with the quad bike on, with the trailer on. And same on the other side, so I can go around. Now the road is so good I can go, at least with the Land Cruiser I can drive around here. So there's a, goes up around and up there again. But this is actually pretty nice that I can come down with a regular car to collect firewood. That's not bad at all. And this I made this year so I can back in here. I have a stone there that it's too big to move by hand. Me and my wife moved that rock last year, and this year I cut some stumps and removed them, and also by hand, of course, because that's the way I am. It wouldn't be fun if I had machinery, right? So that's the deal with this place. So I'm going to start to cut the largest, thickest logs down to size so I can take it on the trailer, and then the smaller ones for now I'm going to leave here, and maybe later on take them down to the house and leave them there for spare, just in case. The energy prices were so high this year, or last year, so we burnt through, I keep 2 years at home worth of firewood, and 2022 and 23 now we burnt through most of it. I had a month worth of firewood left at home, so this is probably 2 years of worth of firewood from this place, and then we have cut up at my wife's cottage even more, so I'm going to bring home to have at my house just in case. So I'm going to cut and split what I need for this winter, and the rest I'm just going to keep dry just in case. That's the plan anyway. My father wants me to take down these spruces, so I don't know, I don't like it. Too big to handle by hand. And I don't want to lay them down. We don't have any roads, it's all swampland and creek down here. So, and over there, I want to save the pines here because they are fairly even spread over this. So if we cut down the spruces, we are going to get a fairly nice spread of pine. So these two is my problem next year. I could probably get this one out between the pine and the house, but that one is going to be a big problem if I want to keep those two pines in front of it. I may be able to put it this way, maybe. But that's going to get some film at least, I hope. If I get any more subscribers, I just do this for my own sake. Oh, this is like, this is where we keep the firewood in. That's very old firewood. Barely any energy left in that. And I got some more piles of spruce down here. I'm going to collect by hand, of course. Yeah, let's get on with it. Production shortages. Well, luckily I keep spare. Well, if it would be easy to close, and everything's full. So this is the rig, just 4 logs and 2 notches on each side, and then a ramp down to the trailer. I think you got the idea. And these piles, my grandfather on my mother's side taught me this technique. We have done this, I don't know, Sweden or Älvdalen for probably hundreds or thousands of years. We don't keep the lumber on the ground. If we stack it like this, when it dries out, no matter how much rain it comes, if I leave this until next year, then the firewood will be ready to put in the oven immediately. You just cut it and split it, and then done. So if something were to happen now, I can just leave this if I can't come up here in a while for some reason. But if you keep the logs like this, then they are exposed to ground moisture. See that? So this is all wet, and this side is dry. So if you keep them stacked like that in a pile, then it's going to stay dry no matter how much rain. Only the log in the bottom will be slightly moisturized by the ground, but not the rain. So you see, I've been lazy and kept those laying on the ground. I'm going to address that today, I hope. And trailer is loaded. It's probably 2 to 3 cubic meters of firewood in that now, and I'm going to make one more. I think I will make everything today. Leave the thinner one, cut up it's not so much. Maybe one more trip and I will get those over there and the split ones in one more go today. And then it's just thinner ones left. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna take a break. See ya. Okay, back from the break. I just noticed that the neighboring forest here is sorted out twice during my time up here. So my work with the sorting saw, brush cutting, is the first step after planting. And this has been sorted out by heavy machinery twice during my time up here, my lifetime you can say. I don't recall it being cut manually, but I can see from the stumps that I might have missed that. So this has probably been kept quite good. You can see these stumps are from the sorting saw. Same job as I'm doing. And this has been sorted out by heavy machinery twice during my lifetime, as I remember. So this is now left for 5 to 10 years, maybe 10 probably. And that will get time for these to fall off. These are quite a lot of branches, far down. You don't want that. You want clean logs, 5.5 meters. That's the good stuff. That's what pays. Straight logs. This is quite a good one, but you have some damage up at the top. That's not top class. And you see over here, this is what I like. They have left the swallow, whatever you call it. This is quite old one. You can see when it starts to gather this, it's not moss, it's the other thing. I don't know what you call it in English. Maybe it's moss altogether. And up there you can see the hanging stuff that looks like a green beard. Yeah, beard. Got it right. Beard. No. Beard. Sorry. And this is a rowan, mountain ash, or whatever Google wants to call it. Rowan is closest to Swedish run, so I'm going to stick to that. And over here you have a dead birch. and you have some fungus or whatever you want to call that. So this is deteriorating, keeps all the bugs and insects and critters and whatnot happy, so we can all live a happy life probably. And over here you have a high stump of pine also keeping a lot of inhabitants, I guess. The bears like to poke this and find food, worms and stuff. Yeah, I'm not a bear. I'm not gonna find anything. Bear. I'm sorry, we Swedes have a lot of problem with bear. The pronunciation of bear. I don't know. Yeah. So you can see this is pine spruce combination. I would probably say that it's planted like that, or you have a natural seeding of this. Natural seed. I don't know. Is that the right term? But you can see if we keep 2 meters from the trees, then this 2 sorting is about 5 meters maybe between on an average. Next time this will be cut, it will be making serious money. This goes on for probably 2-3 kilometers, maybe more, and this is maybe 100 meters wide. I just thought it would be interesting to show you what comes after the work I'm doing. So this is how it looks after maybe 20-40 years from what I'm doing at work manually. And you can see I don't know if you can make it out, the tracks from the machinery. It's not that bad. This is actually really, I've seen a lot worse when they are driving and they create small drainage ditch to almost drain out the land, and then we have a problem with groundwater in Sweden. It's no wonder, but this looks actually really good. And if you compare that to our property, there hasn't been machinery in this forest ever. Me snowmobiling through this is the closest thing to machinery that's been in this forest. This corner, we have a map site that we can trace back to the photos from airplanes from I think it's the 50s, and this corner of the property has been untouched since the 50s. And then we have pictures from my great-grandfather building the cottage in the 30s, and nothing has happened. And if I cut down spruces, there are 215 years old. There's never been a tractor in this part of the property ever. Horses and sleighs maybe. And I don't think even, I've seen some stumps. That's my stump. But like this is probably cut. Yeah, there's a lot of critters underneath. I won't disturb them. This is probably cut because you can see the moss. It's straight. That's not broken. That's cut, and that's nobody owned the forest before 1876, I believe, in Sweden. So this is probably pre 1876. Probably. Let's see if we find any other stumps. I've seen some that you can probably trace back to almost pre-industrial. Yeah, it's pre-industrial times. Check this one. Might be. No, this is probably. You can see this is split. It's missing half of the stump, so this is probably natural. This might be cut, and I say that because it's not keeping any logs underneath the moss on the ground. Then I would see them. They don't deteriorate so fast. Here we have an example of a cut stump, and this is probably pre my family's. This is absolutely cut. You can see the straightness of the stump. This is not natural. This is man-made. This is an old stump. It's probably not made by chainsaw. This is probably manual cutting with a blade. It's not an axe. If it's an axe, then you got this. So it's a blade probably. But all these others, the pines are about 100, a little more than 100 years. That one, that size. I know it doesn't look like much, but up here they don't get so thick, just because they are old. The soil is not that fertile, and the climate isn't that good. But you can see some of these are a real monster, even for. This is a spruce. And there is a pine. And that's also when you see the roots, and they start to almost get on stilts or plateaus. That shows that it's a wet ground or marshy, almost swamp ground, or the trees are very old, like this pine. You can see how it stands on stilts. This is free. You can see daylight through there. And it's quite high. I hope this make it. We had quite a problem with heavy snow that breaks the tips of the trees. More stilt. Standing spruce. This is quite a decent one. You see it started to, this is probably rotted inside. And it's quite big. And you have a couple of, I don't know, 5 or something of these. And there's more. Growing some birches and some rowans, trying to peek up through the canopy. This is also quite a large one. That's quite mind-blowing, mind-boggling to think that my car is probably the first machinery down here. The other car, the off-road vehicle, is the absolutely first car, the Volvo C303. That is the first car that I brought down here. The road was so bad that I had problem with that even to get down. And then I filled it in with a wheelbarrow and a shovel. And now I can make it down with the Land Cruiser, but not the RAV4. So I think I'm gonna stop rambling now, because all the 16 subscribers probably unsubscribed during this video. See this? This is my drug. Sweat from working. Probably more people should try that sometimes. I cut the stumps because I want to get future access with snowmobiles, quad bikes, tractors, off-road vehicles, whatever. Just in case. I cut this in March, and we had probably between 40 and 60 centimeters of snow in this area. So now we are, I see I got one more stumps to get rid of. One more stump, singular. One more stump to get rid of, and then yeah, we're heading out. Short break just to cool down a bit. Maybe a bear. Yeah, that sounded right. Yeah, probably. You can't have a bear. Yeah, you can have a bear and drive. That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a small bear. 50 kilos maybe. I gotta check that. Yeah. That's all for now. Safety first. And this is an improvement. This was quite an ordeal getting up with the quad. The camera doesn't show how steep this is, but it is enough. But as I said, this is an improvement, and we got quite a load in the trailer. Damn it. My YouTube career is over. Well, that's not so good. Hey, what the? See if I can jerry-rig this in some way. To be a ordeal. Probably, yes, it's going to be. Maybe. You hurt yourself? Yeah, that's fine.